angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Join the trying nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ by highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord. Long desired, behold him come, finding here his humble home. Veiled in flesh the Godhead see, hail the incarnate deity. Pleased this man with men to dwell, Jesus our Emmanuel. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. All right. We have another one. Okay. Next song, I'm sure you know, is Deck the Halls. It's not in your book, but I'm sure you know it. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Oh, the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. All right, I can hear you. It's wonderful. Okay, the hymn, "O Come All Ye Faithful," was written by John Francis Wade, an 18th century Catholic layman involved in the music business in France. Copies of the hymn migrated to Portugal and then to England. It was first written in Latin under the title Adeste Fideles. Then an Anglican clergyman, Frederick Oakley, translated it into English. Today, it is one of the most popular Christmas hymns and is sung by Christians around the world. Christmas is a busy season, and we have 1,000 things on our mind and 1,000 things to do. Anyone? But through it all, let us remember to come and adore the Christ who came into the world in this season to bring us light for our darkness and joy and life eternal. This is in your book as well. "O come all ye faithful." O come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing with exultation. Sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. I meant to say we're only singing two verses. All right, I want to read you the rest of about Papa Panoff. So he slept and he dreamed that Jesus had come into his room. Oh dear. Here we go. Oh dear. Here we go. Too many papers. Too many papers. Jesus said, "You have been wishing that you could see me, Papa Panoff," he said kindly. "Then look for me tomorrow. It will be Christmas Day, and I will visit you. But look carefully, for I shall not tell you who I am." When at last Papa Panoff awoke, the bells were ringing out and a thin light was filtering through the shutters. "Oh, bless my soul," said Papa Panoff, "it's Christmas Day." His face was filled with happiness as he remembered his dream. This would be a very special Christmas after all, for Jesus was coming to visit him. How would he look? Would he be a little baby? Or would he be a grown man, a carpenter, or the great king that he is? He must watch carefully the whole day through so that he recognized him however he came. Papa Panoff put on a special pot of coffee for his Christmas breakfast, took down the shutters and looked out the window. The street was deserted. No one was stirring yet. No one except the street sweeper. He looked as miserable and dirty as ever. Whoever wanted to work on Christmas Day, and in the raw cold and the bitter freezing mist of such a morning? Papa Panoff opened the door and shouted across the street, "Come in and have some hot coffee to get out of the cold." The sweeper looked up, scarcely able to believe his ears. He was only too glad to put down his broom and come into the warm room. His old clothes warmed as he stood by the heat of the stove, and he clasped both red hands round the comforting, steaming mug as he drank. Papa Panoff watched him with satisfaction. No. Page 3. The street sweeper said, "You expecting someone?" So Papa Panoff told him about his dream. "Well, I hope he comes," the sweeper said. "You've given me a bit of Christmas cheer I never expected to have. I'd say you deserve to have your dream come true." And he actually smiled. When he had gone, Papa Panoff put on cabbage soup for his dinner, then went to the door again and scanning the street. Was that someone coming? The girl walked so slowly and quietly, hugging the walls of shops and houses, that it was a while before he noticed her. She looked very tired, and she was carrying something. As she drew nearer, he could see that it was a baby, wrapped in a thin shawl. Papa Panoff's heart went out to them. "Won't you come in?" he called, stepping outside to meet them. "You both need a warm seat by the fire, and a rest." The weary young mother came indoors and sank into the comfortable armchair. She gave a big sigh of relief. "I'll warm some milk for the baby. I've had children of my own, and I can feed her for you." He took the milk from the stove and carefully fed the baby from a spoon, warming her tiny feet by the stove at the same time. "She needs shoes," the cobbler said. But the girl replied, "I can't afford shoes. I've got no husband to bring home money. I'm on my way to the next village to find work." A sudden thought flashed through Papa Panoff's mind. He remembered the little shoes he had looked at last night, but he had been keeping those for Jesus. He looked again at the cold little feet and made up his mind. "Try these on her," he said, handing the baby and the shoes to the mother. The beautiful little shoes were a perfect fit. The girl smiled happily, and the baby gurgled with pleasure. "You have been so kind to us," the girl said when she got up to go. "May all your Christmas wishes come true." But Papa Panoff was beginning to wonder if his very special Christmas wish would come true. Perhaps he had missed his visitor. He looked anxiously up and down the street. There were plenty of people about, but they were all faces that he recognized. There were neighbors going to call on their families. They nodded and smiled and wished him Happy Christmas. And beggars, lots of them. Papa Panoff hurried indoors to fetch some hot soup and a generous hunk of bread, then hurrying out again in case he missed the important stranger. All too soon the winter dusk fell. Now Papa could no longer make out the passers-by. Most were home and indoors by now anyway. He walked slowly back into his room, put up the shutters, and sat down wearily in his armchair. So it had just been a dream after all. Jesus had not come. Then all at once, he knew that he was no longer alone in the room. This was not a dream, for he was wide awake.
He saw again the old street sweeper, the young mother and the baby, and the beggars he had fed. As they passed by him, each one whispered, "Didn't you see me, Papa Panoff?" "Who are you?" he called out, wondering. Then another voice answered him. It was the voice from his dream, the voice of Jesus. "I was hungry, and you fed me," he said. "I was naked, and you clothed me. I was cold, and you warmed me. I came to you today in every one of those you helped and welcomed." Then all was quiet and still, only the sound of the big clock ticking. A great peace and happiness seemed to fill the room, overflowing Papa Panoff's heart until he wanted to burst out singing and laughing and dancing with joy. So he did come, after all, was all that he said.
I don't know about you, but that gave me chills. To the world the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing.
This is in your book.
Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. While men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rock hills and plain, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy.
Very good.